All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started here. I've got A9, day one, solving inequalities. We're working on goal number one. Okay, goal number one says use interval notation and properties of inequalities. That's the goal we're working on today for this lesson. Okay, we'll do goal number two later. So let's get started. Do you remember when we used to solve inequalities? When we had something like x is less than 7 and something like x is greater than 7. You guys remember that? Yes, I do remember. Do you remember that? You guys are like, please stop. Please stop singing. All right, I'll stop singing. All right, back in the day when we had less than or greater than, we talked about open dot. We put an open dot on your graph and then we would shade left or right. Well, now we're in pre-calc. We're going to be using parentheses. Okay. So if I have x is less than 7, then I have 7 here on a number line. I have a parenthesis, and then I have to know which way to shade. When I have a less than sign, it's like an arrow telling me which way to shade. So I have parenthesis shaded to the left. Now, interval notation, this guy is what do you see from left to right? So I see all this shaded over here. So this is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3. And it keeps going and going and going and never stops all the way to negative infinity. So it starts over here, negative infinity, goes all the way to 7, and then it stops with a parenthesis. So the next one, we've got x is greater than equal to, I'll put a little bar on the bottom. X is greater than equal to 7. So just a reminder, well, it was less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. That's a solid dot. And we use brackets now. And you guys should have done this in Algebra 2 with parentheses or brackets. Okay, maybe in algebra, you guys got away with the solid dots and open dots, but now we're doing Algebra 2 type stuff. So here's 7. Parenthesis or bracket, because it's the bar on the bottom, it's inclusive, it's part of my solution set. And then this greater than symbol is like an arrow telling me which way to shade. So that greater than is shading to the right. Greater than has an R in it, to the right. Okay. Now that little symbol tells me which way to shade only if it's variable, then the sign, and then the number. So variable, sign, and then the number, it tells me which way to shade. If the number's first and then the variable, you need to flip it around. Okay? All right, interval notation from left to right basically starts on 7. Bracket goes all the way to the right to infinity. Can't stop, won't stop, keeps going. Infinity is always going to have a parenthesis around it. How we doing, y'all? That's easy peasy. Remember that stuff? Devin's like, this is easy. All right, now set notation. Set notation, I wouldn't worry about this too much. It's just got a fancy bracket. This x bar means x is the set of all real numbers such that x is less than 7 for this one. So it's basically the inequality inside of this set. The set are these brackets, and this x bar means all real numbers. So this one would be the set of all real numbers such that x is greater than or equal to 7. Now remember, real numbers, pretty much any number you can think of. Fractions, decimals, square roots. irrational numbers like pi, anything. All right. You guys have any questions with interval notation? Let's dive in to example 2. So I'm going to give you this. I've got x is greater than or equal to 5. So my question for you all, parentheses or brackets, left or right? Let's go with my bottom row that I see. Trey, Trevor, Sam. Parentheses or brackets, left or right? What do you guys say? Trey, Trevor, Sam. Parentheses or brackets, left or right? Yeah, so we have a bracket, and then which way do we go? What's our symbol show? To the right. Very good. So we get a bracket, and it's greater than, so it's to the right. So we should be able to graph these things, and then I use that graph to visualize my interval notation. It starts to the left here and goes all the way to infinity. Now, if you have troubles doing infinity, you can also do like 2 circles next to each other. Okay? So there we go. So bracket 5 to infinity. Okay? And again, you guys should be taking notes on this stuff. Imagine if you're in Carrot Grove. You would be taking notes right now. You should be taking notes. Okay? Some of you guys didn't know that you should be taking notes, but you should know. This is math class. Giddy up. All right. Let's move on to some harder stuff. Next, I have 2 inequalities smooshed together. I have them together. I have 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 5. Anytime you see 2 of these smushed together, we should know that this is an and. Okay, so we have an and here. If you want, you can separate them. 3 is less than or equal to x, so I just cover this one up and write it. And cover this one up, x is less than 5. Okay. Now, if I want to graph this, I need to flippy-flop this one. Okay. This is written backwards. I would never want you to write 3 is equal to x. That's just silly. Okay. I'd want x equals 3. Okay. That's like Yoda trying to talk, right? Hard to see that dark side is. It's like Yoda. That's crazy. Man. So my alligator is eating the x. It's got to be eating the x over here. All right. All right. Let's put this into action. Here's 3. Here's 5. X is greater than or equal to 3. Parentheses or brackets, left or right. X is greater than or equal to 3. Devin, what do you say, bud? Parentheses or bracket, left or right. X is greater than or equal to 3. You got to put your mic on if you're going to talk, though.
Okay, 3 bracket right and parenthesis 5 bracket left.
Oh, man, you're doing both of them. So he said x is less than 5. That's a parenthesis to the left. Awesome job, dude. Okay? So we got a bracket 3, comma 5 parenthesis. Okay? This is what a typical and looks like. I never do this part. If I see low number, high number, x in the middle, I know it's going to look like this. So I put 3, 5, and shade in the middle. Low number, high number, shade in the middle. It's easy peasy. Okay? I never do this part, though. Okay? I go from right to there. So, awesome job, Devin. I take a look. This is an and. Okay? So when I see this together, I know it's going to look like this. So this is the trick I do. I go low number, high number. X is in the middle, and it's always less than signs. So low number, high number, X is in the middle, always less than signs, if it's an and. The last thing is identify, these are brackets. It's hard to tell. That's a bracket. That's a bracket. So then these are equal to. So low number, high number, X is in the middle, less than signs. And then their brackets will equal to. And there you go. If you need interval notation, this would be our set notation. So that's set notation. If you need your interval notation, I call that IN for short. That would be -4 to 10 brackets around those. How do you like that? Is that good? All right, so there's 3 examples. I got maybe 2, maybe 3 more. Okay. For this section. All right, here we go. So now we're going to do a little algebra. All right, so I take a look. I got 2x plus 5 is greater than 5, or greater than 1. We solve it just like we would normally do if that was an equal sign. First thing we would do, we would subtract that 5 over. We get 2x is greater than -4. And then we would divide. So we're trying to isolate the x. Make sure you have the x always on the left and the number on the right. If it's not that way, flip everything around. And then Wade, parenthesis or bracket, Wade, left or right, I got x is greater than -2. Nice job. So parenthesis -2 to infinity. Fantastic, guys are doing great. Okay, I got 2 more. Let's do it, huh? Now, again, we have an and. Now, I don't do it this way, so I'm going to write it, but this is not how I'm going to solve it. You could split this up. Some people like to do it this way. That's fine. I got 4 is less than or equal to 2x plus 2, and because they're smushed together, I cover this up and I write 2x plus 2 is less than or equal to 10. You could break those up separately and solve it, okay? But you guys got English homework to do. You got some driver's ed, maybe. Who knows? History homework to do. Let's get this done. This is what I do. I think of this as 3 columns, okay? And whatever I do to one column, I got to do it to this column. And if I do it to that column, I got to do it to this one. It's like bringing in donuts. I can't bring in donuts for Dylan, Donovan, and Nick. I got to bring donuts in for everybody, right? Or everybody's going to be mad except for Dylan, Donovan, and Nick. So I got to bring in donuts for everybody. So if I subtract 2 over here, I got to do it here and here. And then I simplify. I've got 2 is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to 8. And my last step, I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. Now, if I do it to the 8, I got to do it to this guy too, or he's going to be mad. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 4. Okay, so I got 1 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 4. Put that on a number line, low number, high number, brackets, shaded in between for ands. Bracket, 1, 4, bracket. That's my interval notation. You guys see what my math lab wants? If they just want that, great, we're done. If they want you to do interval notation, that's what they're looking for. All right, last one, ladies and gentlemen. Are we doing good? Mr. Gotch says 1 more. Is that okay? I hope we're taking notes. Here we go. Last one. Same idea. I've got an and. Think of this as 3 columns. What's the first thing we should do? First thing we should do. I'll pick on 3 people. Sarah, Cassidy, or Bella? Isabella, what do we got? 0 is less than 1 minus -1 minus a third x less than 1. Yeah, nice job, Bella. I get -1 is less than -1/3 x, which is less than 1 minus 1 is 0. It is okay to have 0, guys. Some people freak out when they see 0. 0 is a number. It's not natural, I know, but it's whole, and it's an integer, and it's a whole. It's a real number. I got one more step. Jenna, Sarah, Dylan, Logan, what can we do next? How do I get that x? Yeah, so multiply by -3. When you divide by -1/3, just flippy flop, multiply by the reciprocal. Awesome job, Jenna. Isabella, fantastic. Last one. Now, do you guys remember what we have to do here? -3 times -1 is 3. That cancels, leaves me x. 0 times anything is 0. Start this up. Anytime, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you got to flip. You got to flip your inequality sign. So anytime you multiply or divide by negative, you got to flip that inequality sign. Highlight that. Don't forget that. You make silly mistakes on my math lab and you lose points because of that. So that guy right there is now 3 is greater than, and that less than is now greater than. Okay? Now, for me, I don't like how that's written because it's high number, low number. I like low number, high number. And then flip your inequality signs again. So instead of eating the 0, it's eating the x again. And instead of eating the x, it's eating the 3. So the alligator's there. So I got 0 is less than x, which is less than 3. Again, this is an and, low number, high number, shaded in the middle. 0, 3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am done.